How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. The Fed just flipped, or did they? We're seeing lots of posts saying that the Fed just injected $20 billion into 3-year notes and that the market should react positively to this. This is what they're calling stealth quantitative easing. This could be the biggest shift in the markets that we've seen in a very long time. Also, we covered this a little bit in the last video, but there is a state that passed their Bitcoin reserve bill into law. Like, no more this is passing the House, this is passing the Senate. No, it's in law. Like, this state can now go buy Bitcoin legally and hold it for reserves. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video to see future videos just like this. If you want to trade crypto, there are links underneath the video to Blowfin, WEEX, BTCC, BitUniX, CoinW. You can start trading in just a few minutes. You get a 10% deposit bonus for first-time deposits on BTCC. You get 40% lower trading fees. On WEEX, you get the first 100 users get 100 USDT futures bonus. So check those out. Now, we're seeing a lot of rumors. I see it all over Twitter. Let's actually just look up $20 billion or Fed. If you look this up, so many people talking about how the Fed just purchased $20 billion in 3-year bonds. They're injecting liquidity to avoid rate cuts. Quantitative easing is here. This is apparently Treasury News Department of the Treasury Bureau of Fiscal Service, May 5, saying that they, again, injected about $20 billion. Here it says the Fed spent $20 billion on 3-year bonds, and so on and so on. Now, why is this such big news? Well, the Fed has been keeping rates very high. They've continued quantitative tightening, which just makes it harder to, invest money, harder to get money into risk-on assets. And they've been doing this for years, right? The market, the Fed has reached peak quantitative tightening. They said at the last meeting that they were going to start cutting back on quantitative tightening, that they're moving to a more neutral stance, meaning eventually they'll probably start turning to quantitative easing again. This actually shows stealth quantitative easing. This basically is them injecting liquidity back into the system, back into the market, which is this is the single largest purchase since 2021, or single day purchase. So it's the first time in a very long time that the Fed actually seems like they're a little bit more dovish, that they're injecting liquidity back in, that they're trying to improve the markets again instead of just trying to squash money and again tighten up the economy. So maybe a big sign that we're moving back into a lower interest rate environment. We're moving back to quantitative easing. Again, money just transfers more freely. It's easier to loan. It's easier to grow businesses. So this could be a big indication. Now, I will say there aren't many sources, if any, that I've seen. Like, almost everything that I've seen has been from crypto YouTubers, crypto Twitter personalities, crypto sites, and they keep on pointing to this. I've never seen this before. Maybe this is fully legit, but I don't see a lot of large financial institutions reporting on this, and you would think they would be just as interested, like Bloomberg, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, like all these financial websites and magazines would be talking about this as well, but I don't see it from them. So I'm not 100% certain that this is actually true. However, I still think it's worth talking about because everyone is talking about this on Twitter. And I think we're at a spot too where even if they're not doing this now, they've obviously indicated that they're going to move towards a very neutral environment, and by that I mean just not quantitative tightening anymore very soon, and maybe even quantitative easing. We're going to get more news on this tomorrow because the Fed is going to speak, or Jerome Powell is going to speak in less than 24 hours from now, and gives kind of some of his thoughts on this. I'm sure maybe they'll even bring this up in a question or something. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We also have New Hampshire passing the Bitcoin reserve bill into law. I think we're probably the first YouTube channel to talk about this because we got it from the source. Governor Ayotte signed HB 302 into law this morning, making New Hampshire the first state to enact a Bitcoin reserve bill. One state down, 49 to go. So again, there's no more back and forth. There's no more passing through the House or the Senate or getting rejected by the governor. No, they passed it right through. I didn't even know that like New Hampshire was going to be the first one. I would have thought it would be Texas or Florida, but yeah, New Hampshire winning. We haven't heard of them buying any Bitcoin yet, but a lot of these states actually hold Bitcoin proxies through MicroStrategy, but still they can hold up to 5% of their reserves in Bitcoin. I don't think they'll get there anytime soon, but still buying a couple $1 million as a state is a big step, and we might be seeing that here relatively soon. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Of course, we're going to see more news tomorrow, more volatility tomorrow with the Fed, and in the next week or two, we'll see CPI, PPI as well. PCE will be coming too. We have 5 weeks or so before the Fed rate decision, where the market is basically banking on the Fed cutting rates. So maybe we get some indication of that tomorrow, or maybe Jerome Powell says, no, we're still going to be data dependent. We're not giving you anything early. We're not telling you what we're going to do because we don't know what we're going to do because we don't know what tariffs will be like. So we'll have to watch that tomorrow. The traditional markets are down today, so that's one more indication that I'm like, I don't know if that Fed news is true. But again, I think it's worth talking about because it is so widely reported on Twitter. I've seen even very responsible actors and YouTubers that have been posting about it. So again, I think it's a very bullish thing. If it's true, obviously we'll have to do more research and figure out if it is true. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Not much happening these days. I feel like it's been a little bit quieter. We still have big pieces of news. We still have like BlackRock buying $500 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday, but it seems more normal, right? Like $95,000 is no big deal. It's not something to get excited about anymore, which is kind of cool, right? Like if I told you that 2 years ago when Bitcoin was saying at, what was it saying at 2 years ago, 30,000, 25,000, that we'd be saying at 4x the price and like no one would be that interested. Like there are definitely more people that are watching videos these days and are like invested in Bitcoin and are kind of interested, but it's not like there's any kind of like insane FOMO right now, I don't think. But again, that can change very quickly. One piece of news, one word from the Fed can change the market sentiment. So yeah, you don't have forever. You don't have forever to get in under 100. And I made a video about that recently. If you want to check that out, you can check out my channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. It should be fun. Thanks so much. See you in the next one. Bye.